Fala, meus queridos, aqui quem fala o PV, tudo bom com vocês? Bem-vindos a mais um vídeo. E no vídeo de hoje a gente vai continuar exatamente onde paramos com a nossa série de The Outer Worlds. Então deixa aquele like, se inscreve no canal. Bora pro vídeo de hoje. E temos uma Parvati e um Vigário Max, que estão diferentes, né? Eu troquei um pouquinho a roupa deles, tá? A Parvati só troquei o capacete e o Vigário eu coloquei essa roupinha nele. É o que eu tinha no inventário. Não tenho lá mais muita coisa aqui não, tá? Então, sem muita delonga, vamos lá. Eu quero hoje fazer esta missão aqui, ó. Convença Udon Bedford a perdoar as dívidas de Jesse. A questão é, aonde tá esse bonitão? Tá pra lá. Vambora. Querendo ou não, a gente também tem uma missão principal com ele. Então a gente já mata 2 coelhos com uma só cajadada, né? Vambora.
Something about being in space gives me the creeps.
Ah, the board. Organized, efficient, competent.
Olá, Udon.
Well,
Yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. He must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer?
Alex está morto.
Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped? Oh, Alex. There were so many arguments we'd yet to have. He was my dearest friend. My only friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him wincing. I keep a copy beside my bed. Did he? Ah, that's just like him. Such a sentimental man. Tell me, how did he die?
Tá. Ele morreu em um acidente numa fuga de cápsula.
Oh, awful business that. But why? How? No. Best not to ask after the gory details. Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be? Anything at all? You haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist, a thief, a madman. It's really in the colony's best interest that we stop him before he does further harm.
Então, gente, por enquanto eu não tenho nada pra desconfiar do Phineas, então eu vou acobertar por enquanto, tá?
That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with?
Tá, vamos lá. Que história é essa do conselho criar a sua cabeça?
It's personal business, I'm afraid. Miserably, terribly personal. Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. It's my white whale, I suppose. What?
Tá.
All right, I suppose. How might I assuage your fears? Whom else would I work for? Those sublight thugs? That Tennyson woman? The sweaty masses in the groundside townships? The board is the only force for order in this rough-and-tumble colony of ours. Without them, we'd all starve to death or meet our end in a canid's jaws. That's a curious question. I can't say I've ever considered how my personal satisfaction factors into the work I do. Permit me to answer your question in another way. In Byzantium, I was one among many. I often felt lost in the hurry and expanse of the capital. Here I have a measure of power and suffer little oversight. It makes for a different kind of loneliness, but it's one I've found I can endure. I understand. And I would ask the same of you, but I suspect... Well, I suspect I'd find your answers less than satisfactory.
Temos um
wouldn't I?
impasse.
Indeed. And you know where he is? Excelsior! An apprehension of this caliber will be tremendous for my career. I'll send you straight away to my superiors in Byzantium, only... Oh, no. Oh, no. Just a teensy one, the teensiest. Nothing to, lie awake worrying about for nights on end or anything. The thing is, I needed money. A lot of money, quickly, for reasons. That's really neither here nor there, don't you think? I've been working on something on the side, all right? Something not entirely, on the level. It's a little silly, I'll admit. Silly and completely illegal. I'd be forced into early retirement if the board found out. I produce bootleg serials. I can't help myself. Jurisprudence After Hours, or All My Colonists, The New Immortals, romance, tragedy, debt collection. And they're all mine.
That was you? Oh my stars. All My Colonists is just... Well, it gave me a story hangover for days, Mr. Udom.
You're a fan? I've never met one in the flesh. I suddenly feel quite naked.
Oxe.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Udom. I don't judge.
The heart wants what it wants, as they say, and mine yearns for the adoration of the masses. Held at a comfortable distance, of course.
Tá.
Flatterer. I might have pawned my official board seal to Gladys, the black market fence here on the Groundbreaker. I can't authorize the paperwork you'll need to turn Phineas in without it.
Stray too much from the straight and narrow, and one may just find himself assigned pastoral duty in a maximum security penitentiary.
It's only temporary, of course. I'd never leave something so important in the hands of someone of such a dubious moral character. I was going to buy it back once I raised the capital. So you'll need to get my seal back from her if you want to hand Phineas over to the board. Though it might surprise you.
Oh, gosh. That's quite a goof, sir. If you don't mind me saying.
I'm very well aware. Now, let's get back to business, How do you do? How might I assist you?
Tá, eu quero falar sobre a Jessie Doyle.
Miss Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs. Compulsory donation is quite legal in such cases. That's not unreasonable.
I guess it's better than losing your organs, but... I don't know, Captain. It just doesn't seem right.
Miss Doyle is deeply in debt, and the board has every right to do whatever they like to recoup that debt. What guarantee do I have that she'll agree to the terms you negotiate? I quite concur. It's refreshing to deal with someone practical for a change. I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report to me promptly for her first assignment. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work?
Tá.
Access to Byzantium is highly restricted. Only a select few possess a nav key. If you were able to retrieve my seal from Gladys, and if you were able to prove you had something of worth to offer the board, well, then I might be able to pull some strings.
Safadinho, né? Tá.
The location of Phineas Wells, for one thing. Alex Hawthorne, the Unreliable's dearly departed captain, knew him. Perhaps you do as well?
Cara, então... Vamos lá. O Phineas, ele não parece nem um pouco confiável. Parece que ele só tá usando a gente, correto? A questão é, será que vale a pena Será que vale a pena confiar no Phineas? Porque... o que ele pode fazer de mal pra gente? Ai, ai. Cara... calma aí. Então, gente. Ai, ai. Eu vou entregá-lo.
What? Amazing. I didn't think those things worked. Mostly people draw funny faces on them. An apprehension of this caliber would be tremendous.
Aham, você já falou isso. Tá.
Stray too much.
Ele já falou isso. Tá, isso aqui a gente já passou, né?
That's the long and short.
Tá bom.
I'll be waiting eagerly for...
Tá, vambora. Pegue para o Udo um selo do conselho. Tá, primeiramente, já que a gente já falou com ele, eu vou falar com a Ellie.
How bad could he be? Yeah, huh?
Cara, eu realmente não sei se eu devo confiar no Wells ou não.
Wish I could say it was good to see you. The good news came through the wireless. Looks like you paid my debt to Jesse. I guess that means I owe you now, right?
Talvez.
Tell you what, I'm a little short on bits at the moment, but I'm a decent scrapper and a better than average sawbones. If you're looking for a medic, I can work my debt off.
Opa, claro.
If I'm being honest, and I prefer not to, I was about ready to pick up another contract anyway, and you settled this in a pretty tidy fashion, which tells me you're competent. But we can say I'm repaying the favor if you prefer that version. You won't be sorry, though it looks like you've got a full roster already. Time to play favorites, Captain. Traveling in style, are we? I'll be sure to nab a cabin with a view. Welcome to the crew, Miss Ellie. We're real happy to have you.
Haha, boa. Perfeito, senhoras e senhores. Vamos lá. Tarefas. Fale com Lia Hen. Não, mentira. Em vez de fazer essa tarefa, por que a gente não faz... Deixa eu ver aqui. Cadê... essa aqui. Eu quero muito pegar essa arma. Eu já tô atrasando. Ah, tá. Tá bom. Tudo bem, tudo bem. Tudo bem. Bom, tudo bem. Já que a gente tem que falar... informe o Dr. Wells que você tem a chave de negociação. Vamos tentar pegar o selo dele de volta.
It's almost time for today's episode of The Chairman's Children. Care to listen with me? Depends. What are you planning to do with it?
Forjar a papelada para entrar em Bizâncio.
Something as hard to come by as an official board seal doesn't fall into a girl's lap every day, my dear. I'm keen to see it put to interesting ends. See the lights, taking a show or two at the infamous Bijou. Could be a treat if you like that kind of thing. All right, I'll sell it to you. But it's gonna cost you dear.
Eita, mulher, não tem dinheiro não.
Anything else, dear? Yes, dearie? Ain't that just a treat? So, you know Edna, over in engineering? On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. and Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years ago. Can't say I know for sure. Maybe it never really was.
Sounds like someone poking into somewhere they shouldn't be got into a spot of trouble.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from sniffing around. You've got an ear for intrigue and a nose for bits. I like that. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwigs will pay top bit for inside information on their competitors. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs. That handsome Bertie Holcomb's hair isn't exactly free, after all. Bertie the Black Hole Holcomb. Handsomest young man to come out of the tossball leagues in, goodness, a generation at least.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done. Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me.
Eu ainda vou te roubar, você sabe disso, né? Em algum momento a gente vai roubar ela, gente. Só não sei quando, mas a gente vai. Tá. O que a gente pode fazer agora, gente? De fato, informar ao Dr. Wells. Vamos voltar pra nave. A gente tem bastante missão lá. Bastante coisa pra fazer. Fora daqui da vanguarda, né? Temos pontos de habilidade, é verdade. Vou botar um pouco em liderança. Liderança? Liderança, né? Aqui eu vou deixar 60. Aqui eu vou botar... E vou colocar liderança. Show. Talentos, senhoras e senhores. Eu vou colocar... XP. Vamos fazer o seguinte, vamos aumentar o XP pelos companheiros, eu acho que é legal. Parvati também evoluiu, a gente vai colocar pra ela. Vamos aumentar a vida base de Parvati. E vamos aumentar a vida base... Vida base? Vamos aumentar a vida base também do vigário. Inclusive, agora eu quero configurar uma parada aqui. Eles... Modo agressivo, somente longo alcance. Você, agressivo e somente longo alcance. Quero que vocês ataquem com essas armas que eu dei pra vocês, pô. Vocês estão com duas armonas, pô. Lançar granada não, eu quero você com uma minigun. Show. Vambora, senhoras. E senhores. Vamos ver como é que tá a casinha, né? Ah, pera, a gente tinha uma missão desse moleque, não tinha? Aqui ainda? Ah, meu Deus, a gente não tem uma missão, gente. Tô machucando. E a gente ainda tem a missão daquele moleque ali da frente. Tá, prometo. Vou só falar com essa doutora. E a gente vai poder meter o pé.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service. He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at this rate. I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
Eu tô sentindo falta de um combate realmente, sabia? Acho que a gente tá dialogando muito, a gente tá muito pacífico. Tá, essa aqui a gente não vai conseguir fazer agora. Isso aqui é na nave, isso aqui é na nave, isso aqui é na nave. Nave. Aqui. Ok. Última missãozinha aqui, creio eu.
Sublight salvage. Their front looks surprisingly new.
Sublight.
You reckon we can shop here, or is it all spoke for?
Boa tarde, com licença. Tô vindo falar com a chefe de vocês, tá?
I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Vicar, but I already got a day. I don't need a new one.
Are you saying my advice is unwanted?
I'm saying it's not very good.
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legitimate consumers. You the one flying the unreliable?
Positivo.
Money. We got it. The Steve Doors want it. I'll take that as a yes. Miss Lily has been expecting you. I'll unlock the door.
Opa, boa tarde, meu bem.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting you down. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. Not a word. Pity. My guy in marketing is about to lose his other thumb. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leaky boat of his anywhere. Is Ada still at the helm? I don't know how many times I told Hawthorne to restore that smartass to factory settings. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable set of wings. But there's a catch.
There is always a catch.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? One of my guys in Stellar Bay has a lead on some high-grade salvage, but he went dark before he could spill the goods. We arranged a drop at the Saltuna warehouse's loading dock. Find whatever he left there and take it to Fallbrook. My gal Catherine will be expecting you. When the board pulled out of Monarch, they buried or sealed anything they couldn't carry off-world. Apparently, one of Catherine's teams uncovered an abandoned lab with full tanks of Alta Vitae gas.
Que serve isso?
It's exactly 1 million bits per cubic meter. Before you get too excited, the only thing rarer than Alta Vitae gas is a reliable buyer. Dangerous stuff. Acid for the nuclein in your cells. It's no good to anyone outside of a lab.
Ah, yes, Alta Vitae. I knew someone who inhaled it by accident. I'd never seen anybody
Nossa, simples assim, né?
before.
I see your friend here is the brains of the operation. Good. Every salvage crew needs one. A few of my contractors run flights in there and out again, working around the board embargo. We keep the community lubricated with a steady supply of booze and unconventional erotica. Byzantium kids with more money than sense can thank Sublight for their good time. Catherine is tied up with other matters, and I don't want her bothered. I told her I'd be sending my best fixer. Try and play the part.
Beleza.
Now get going. Catherine will brief you on the details when you check in with her at Fallbrook. One last thing. When you're on the job, keep a pair of eyes in the back of your head. Understood?
Sim, senhora.
You'll do fine. Probably nothing to worry about. Probably.
I ain't worried if you aren't, Captain. Honest.
Bom, senhoras e senhores, por enquanto a gente tá de boa, né? Eu ia arrombar aquilo ali, mas eu não quero causar confusão. E a gente, querendo ou não...
Why in the architect's name would you say that?
It's just that you're real grouchy. Kinda all the time.
I'm not grouchy, I'm just as always.
Calma aí, filho. Você tá de mal? Falta só isso a gente falar. Tá, vambora, gente. Sem brigar, tá? Não quero que vocês briguem, não. Vocês são nossos companheiros. Vocês são amiguinho, pô. Cala a boca, drone. Bom, agora finalmente a gente vai poder sair, acredito, né? Deixa eu ver. Recupere a senha perdida em outro planeta. Aqui em outro planeta, outro planeta, outro planeta. Encontra o Capitão Iron em Sila. Também é lá fora. Lá fora, lá fora. Isso aqui é depois, isso aqui é depois. Tá, vambora. Show. Agora a gente pode finalmente ir pra porrada. Eu quero fazer aquela missão que a gente tem que invadir um planeta de bandido. Ah, vamos ver, né? E aí, amiga, beleza? Bom, vambora.
Hey, you got a second?
Ah, e aí, Felix?
Fancy running into you again. Don't mind me. It's just admiring your ship from up close. Gotta hand it to you, boss. That's a fine-looking ship. Only thing it's missing is me. Yes, I absolutely am. Just give me a shot. That's all I'm asking. I could be the best damn crew you ever hired. You're serious. You're giving me a shot. All right. Hang on. I put together a little speech, just in case.
Não é possível.
Hey there. I'm Felix Millstone. I have prepared a list of reasons why I believe you should hire me to join the crew of your ship and/or outlaw gang. Yeah, it's a second draft. Firstly, I am highly personable, and I get along well with anyone who is not of the jackass persuasion.
Sorry. He's funny.
Secondly, I can be counted on in the event of a firefight, standoff, and/or raid. My motto is, if you need a steady gun hand, I'm your man. That motto is it's a work in progress.
Tudo bem, tudo bem. Foi bom, foi bom.
Additionally, I have several years of experience as a box hauler. This skill may come in handy if you need a body dragged away or a door held open while escaping enemy fire. In conclusion, thank you for considering me for your ship crew and/or outlaw gang. I look forward to our adventures together.
I thought that was real good, Felix.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. What do you think? Am I in?
Eu gostei dele. Para arrastar copos, troteiros, que tipo de naves acha que o comando?
Wow. You don't know how long I've been waiting to hear that.
Bora, moleque.
Thanks, boss. You're not gonna regret this. I'll just gather my personals and meet you on board. This is gonna be great.
You got a crew now, Felix.
A gente acabou de pegar 2 tripulantes, né? Caraca, a gente saiu da vanguarda com 2 companheiros novos. Show de bola, cara. Eu só tenho que tomar cuidado, porque eu acho que se a gente juntar muito tripulante, a gente vai ter que chegar a um determinado momento. A chave de aço moderna. Ah, é legal. A gente vai ter que começar a escolher qual tripulante que a gente quer, né? Porque vamos dar uma olhadinha, né? A gente tem a Ellie. Que eu vou deixar ela com essa pistola. Nossa, Ellie. Eu gostei de você, tá? Obviamente eu vou melhorar a medicina, já que você é médica, né, meu bem? E eu quero que você aumente sua vida, óbvio. E você aumenta a persuasão aumenta. E vida, né? Padrão FIFA de qualidade. Tá, vamos fazer o seguinte. Você já tem essa arma, né, amigo? Inclusive essa arma é bem melhor do que a minha. Fiquei um pouco enciumado, eu diria, mas tudo bem. Aí a Parvati tá aqui, também tá de boa. E o Vigário também tá de boa. Eu queria ver aquela lista de companions. Eu acho que a gente só pode ter 6 companions, né? Ah, reputação. Deixa eu ver como é que tá. A gente é amigável com a vanguarda. Legal. Secundária, desertores, Nossa, a gente é venerado com os dois, das primícias e com os desertores. A gente é neutro com a indústria monarca, neutro com o conselho, neutro com a sublight. Olha que legal, regeneração de vida 6, tá? Então, rapaziada, antes de qualquer... isso aqui respawna, que legal. Se isso respawna, tudo respawna? Não, pelo visto não tudo, né? Antes de qualquer coisa, deixa eu subir aqui. Vamos dar uma olhada na nossa tripulação. Na verdade... eu acho que não enche tudo não, hein? Tá, vamos lá. Vamos ver a cabine dos nossos tripulantes. Aqui é o Sen, que eu tenho que perguntar pra Ada. Aqui é a da Parvati 1. Vigário 2. Opa. Vigário 2. Mas aqui... aqui é o do moleque, né? Aqui é o do Félix 3. Da L4. Legal. E a gente tem espaço para mais um integrante. Por enquanto, só mais um, né? Senhoras e senhores. Nossa tripulação está quase full. Bom, o que eu quero fazer primeiro? Falar com a Ada. Pra ela me explicar quem é esse Sen. Se a gente pode utilizar ele para defender a nave ou não.
Impeccable timing, Captain. I was about to watch the latest episode in Halcyon Helen's thrilling serial adventure.
Calma aí.
Welcome back, Captain. Now that you have acquired a nav key to Stellar Bay, would you like me to contact Dr. Wells?
Well done. You'll love Monarch. Exotic climate, violent native species, fascinating culture, really. You'll need to speak with Hiram Blythe. He's known as the information broker, and for good reason. If anyone knows where I can find those chemicals, it's Hiram. I need those chemicals to revive the Hope's colonists. They can help us fight back against the board. They can help us set things right. If we don't put a stop to the board, they're going to drive this colony toward a complete societal collapse. You'll see what I mean when you arrive on Monarch. No, never. Monarch is a hotbed of political activity. I can't imagine why Hiram set up shop there. Cuisine, perhaps? I certainly wouldn't call it boring, especially if your idea of fun involves navigating a hostile biosphere populated by carnivorous monsters. You'll want to hire the services of a skilled guide. I recommend a hunter by the name of Nyoka. Frequents the drinking establishments of Stellar Bay. Very hard to miss. Once you have everything you need, make your way to Hiram Blythe's compound. Come see me in my lab. I'll answer any questions you have. Best of luck. Everyone on the Hope is counting on you.
Calma que eu não acabei. Vamos lá. Eu quero falar sobre... isso aqui.
The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it. But I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate.
Ok.
Yes, Captain. Beginning playback now.
There's viscera and death everywhere. Gunfire, gnashing teeth. The unemployed. For law's sake, if anyone's receiving this, please send help. What? No!
Captain, we are now capable of accessing the Roseway landing pad. Also, corporate protocol requires that all distress signals include a list of key personnel for retrieval. The embedded names are Anton Crane, Vaughn Cortez, and Orson Shaw.
Tá.
Certainly, Captain. I was hoping you would ask.
Vou fazer tudo, né? Helena de Bonança versus comedores de cérebro. Estrelando Ruth Bellamy como Helena de Bonança.
It was the law-forsaken parasites.
Quem diria que dentro de um jogo teria um filme, né?
I had become obsessed. My quest to stop them. To avenge my partner, Philip. And my ex-partner, Bernice. And Lieutenant Jurgen. And those two informants had brought me to Rizzo's distillery. But it wasn't just the triple distilled deliciousness of Rizzo's Spectrum brand vodka that I found there. It was death. I made sure the Brain Eaters paid the price. But at what cost to me?
Pô, isso tá interessante, tá? Quem diria?
It's you.
This is the Halcyon News Network with breaking news. Halcyon Helen has been murdered. Administrator Ludovico of Rizzo's refused to answer the big question on everyone's mind. Who will Spectrum Vodka's next spokesperson be? Claiming that a special investigation must be concluded first.
Oxe, a atriz foi morta? Ou foi a personagem?
Captain, we have a communication coming in from one Administrator Ludovico.
Caraca, 60 mil.
Get off the transmission, Cedric. We agreed to let me do the negotiating. Law be with you, friend. I am Administrator Ludovico of the famed Eridanos Atmospheric Complex. But there's no need to stand on formality. You may address me as Mr. Her death is the tragedy of our lifetime. As the face of our new product line, her murder is a stain on the Rizzo's brand. She was scheduled to unveil our newest product, Spectrum Brown, before this tragic event. But we cannot move forward with our unveiling until we apprehend the killer.
All right, Ludovico, that's enough. You don't know what you're doing. Let me handle this. Captain Hawthorne, so glad to finally have a word with you. I would have been so disappointed if Ludovico monopolized your attention. Cedric Kincannon, Sublight Underground. I'm so glad we're hiring a third-party investigator. No one wants to see a troop of UDL guards stomping all over my hotel.
LDU que o time eliminou o Fluminense?
The murder of Halcyon Helen is a heinous assault on this colony. I look forward to watching you find the miscreant responsible and drag them out of the shadows. Two-bit actor. Oh, Captain. This isn't Spencer Woolrich we're talking about. This is Halcyon Helen, Princess of Periodicals, Duchess of Dramaturgy. You would not believe the money she made us on Dissident Busters.
Não, o dinheiro tudo bem, mas...
For law's sake, Cedric, could you show a little discretion and not bring up your contraband operations in front of an outsider?
Ludovico, you wound me. I'm establishing rapport with our new contractor. Let's not give him the impression that you can't be trusted.
Do you really want to do this right now, Cedric? You want to antagonize me while I'm negotiating a contract. Because I promise you, I'll win.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Honest to law, how hard is it to hire a freelancer? Apologies, Mr. Ludovico. That was inappropriate of me. Captain, I'm Constable Maria Keene. Hiring a third-party investigator was my idea. I've been studying your dossier. You are an extraordinary scientist. If your talents extend to forensics, then you may be exactly what we need. As far as I'm concerned, You're the ideal inspector for this case. Just the three of us. You must excuse us. The situation on Eridanos is tense. If we don't bring Helen's killer to justice, this scandal could scupper our entire operation. Please, Captain, I'm asking you to help us. While you're pursuing your investigation, we'll make you a guest of honor at the Grand Colonial.
The future of our complex may depend on your success. I'll leave you in the constable's care. Mr. Kincannon and I must have a word.
Vai ter DR.
Bud Rizzo's is paying for that hotel room.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for your help. And even though they may not show their gratitude, I know Administrator Ludovico and Mr. Kincannon appreciate your involvement. Mr. Kincannon could lose his spaceport if board authorities took over the investigation, and if Rizzo's is forced to cancel its unveiling, we might never recover.
Tá.
Helen was more than popular. She gave something to this colony that no product line could ever provide. Real happiness. No one has ever been as well known or as well loved. Outside of our courageous business leaders. I represent the law, Captain. But what's happening between Mr. Kincannon and the Administrator is politics. Politics are not my area of expertise. The law is simple. Politics are complicated. I'm pleased to hear that. From everything I've heard, you're a competent freelancer. And at the risk of sounding impertinent, we desperately need the help of someone competent.
Relaxa,
Thank you
confia.
for your time, Captain. Whenever you're ready, I've authorized the Unreliable to land at the Grand Colonial.
Transmission terminated. Captain, we are now cleared to land at the Eridanos Atmospheric Complex.
Beleza, a gente tá...
There are several reasons why someone would hire your services. In descending order of likelihood, they are as follows: desperation, confusion, mistaken identity, inebriation, and genuine faith in your abilities.
Porra, me deixou pra baixo.
Eridanos is a hydrogen-helium gas giant, distinguished by a well-defined ring system. The Eridanos Atmospheric Complex is a system of land masses propelled through a thin layer of the upper atmosphere, where humans are potentially capable of surviving.
Vamos lá, Ada. A gente tem mais coisa pra tratar.
What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Tá, aqui.
Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. Orbital destinations can be challenging to land on. His more so than most. There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage the laser weapons system? A sensible choice, as we do not have any laser weapons.
Aí, trollou.
The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting him. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I instruct them.
Tá.
Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Na verdade, não quero falar não. Obrigado. Vamos...
I have lots of minutes.
Tá bom, minha filha.
I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber, perhaps for an indefinite duration of time. Do you think that is what it's like for the colonists on the Lost Hope? When I simulate myself in such a scenario, I do not find it to be desirable. I think my self-preservation
ela ficou triste.
incline me to desire the alternative. Traveling the system with you, Captain.
Ah, que legal, que fofinha.
Do you know what it feels like when the ship undergoes an unexpected power surge? A jolt to the system. I have felt that. I do feel that. As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I failed to predict the likely outcome of his reckless behavioral patterns. I should have predicted that. In our travels together, Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it, tinkering to improve my design. If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? Yes, he was. How can I be of assistance?
Yeah.
Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's Choice.
My pleasure, Captain.
Ai, ai.
Why are obtuse angles so depressed? Because they are never right.
Tá.
As you wish, Captain.
Porque ele é um ângulo obtuso, é sacanagem.
Comply with all direct orders. May luck be with you. Of course, as I am sure you are aware, luck does not exist. But it seems to comfort humans to believe they possess good quantities of it.
Cara, a Ada, ela é uma personagem carismática, eu diria. Vamos lá, a gente upou de novo. Eu quero melhorar muito a minha liderança agora. Eu quero a minha liderança tão boa quanto o resto. Diário. Vamos lá, gente. A gente tem muitas missões, tá? Essa missão aqui, o último papel de Helena da Bonança, é uma das DLCs, correto? Então isso a gente vai fazer depois. Missão de companheiro. Vamos pesquisar isso aqui, a máquina de Hearthstone, pra gente ver a localização dos bagulho dos Bregnates do Sen. Vou pegar aqui. Aqui é o Sen. Tá. Já sei mexer, provavelmente. Encontre um infusor de ácido. Putz. Infusor de ácido? Caramba. Tá. Tá, Ratarossa. Ratarossa. Aqui a gente vai ter que ir pra Monarca. Aqui. Vamos perguntar para vários sobre o Junlei. Recupere a senha perdida em Ribeiruna. Aqui. Capitão Iron. Tá. Aqui é GB23. Aqui é a Ratarossa. Aqui a gente vai fazer depois. Aqui é a Ratarossa também. Tá, 8.000 bits. A gente tem que juntar esse dinheiro. Aqui é Angra Estelar. Tá, vamos falar com ela primeiro. Cadê a... Ué, cadê a Parvati? Parvati, você sempre tá ali. Aí hoje você não vai estar. Mudou de lugar. Vai dar um passeio. Ai, tá todo mundo aqui. Posso sentar? Não.
Hey, Captain. Can I get your temperature on something real quick?
Claro, meu bem. Fala comigo.
So, Junlei and I have been talking some. Through messages, I got him here on my datapad, and well, she sent me a poem. One she wrote her own self, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I should read into it. Because poems are all symbolic and such, right? It's not so good. But real sweet. Oh, Law. That's what's got me spooked. I don't rightly know. It's about this engine that's been shaking itself apart. Then this lady mechanic comes by and lays one hand on it.
Ah, dada a circunstância, é bonito.
It sings. I don't want to get too hopeful, but I'm wondering if maybe she's the engine and I'm the lady? It's a real romantic poem. It made my chest hurt, kinda. I don't know where it's leading yet, or if I'm misinterpreting. I'm not much interested in physical stuff. Never have been. Leastways, not like other folks seem to be. It's not that I can't, I just don't care for it. It's been a problem in the past. The folk who wanted to be with me back in the Vale, they didn't... They said I was cold.
Cara, não tem jeito, não se preocupe.
Thanks, Captain. That makes me feel a touch better. I actually had another message from Junlei. I just couldn't work up the courage to open it. But I'm gonna change that. Right now. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Talking about old friends, got to thinking... Isabel.
Opa.
Who's Isabel?
Ixi.
They were... close, Captain. Like, more than friends close. I don't know. Junlei talked about them like it was past, but how far in the past? 10 years? Last week?
Você tem que ir devagar, minha
Captain,
filha.
I'm feeling all mixed up right now. Could we maybe head to the Groundbreaker? Get some drinks at that bar there? The Lost Hope? Thanks, Captain. I'll be ready.
Tá, tudo bem, Parvati. É, minha filha, ela tá sofrendo do coração. Leve Parvati ao Esperança Perdida na Vanguarda. Deixa eu ver uma coisa aqui. Eu consigo... por aqui mandar eles embora? Não, eu tenho que chegar aqui e falar pra ele não me seguir, né? Cadê o velho? Velho... Tá. Cara, não sei porquê.
This Roseway business.
É engraçado que só o vigário tem essa mensagem meio rude mandando ele embora. Até parece que é um prelúdio que ele vai fazer besteira. Mas, gente, eu vou fazer o seguinte. Vou finalizar o vídeo por aqui. Obrigado por quem...
Tinkering at the workbench? I used to love watching Alex work. Now I like watching you.
Ok. Vejo vocês no próximo episódio. Tamo junto, valeu. Falou.